Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the AuthorHood Podcast with Dr. Dibyendu Choudhury in conversation. So, tell me, would you ever want to collaborate with any individual, maybe living or historical, in the fields of business, literature, or education to present a more enhanced and maybe utterly detailed vision of yours?
Oh yeah, I have already collaborated. There are a couple of books I have written earlier, also like on tourism management and all,
Hmm.
with some of the very proficient people, and they were the expert of their fields.
Hmm.
And if you look at that, I had been also publishing constantly into scientific research into management.
जी.
So a lot of research I have done, and research publication you cannot do alone because at this point of time it's so much competitive, and not every publisher they publish it.
Hmm.
So you have to do it collaboratively. So academic research, writing, publishing, that I do collaboratively.
Hmm.
But when it's a passion, like I am passionate about talking about my experience through different books,
Hmm.
so there basically a very less chance to collaborate because that's my personal experience,
Hmm.
my narrative. And especially when I write thrillers and that kind of genres, then there is very less chance to collaborate with others because, again, I collaborate. Of course, I collaborate on the design part, on the editing part and all. But
Hmm.
otherwise, there is no scope for a collaboration.
That was a very fulfilling statement that there's no scope of collaboration.
See, all these self-published books,
Hmm.
whatever I have, published,
Hmm.
those are into majorly, entrepreneurship as well as into thriller, fiction as well as non-fiction genre.
Hmm.
So there, it's a kind of sharing your experience or sharing your fiction, basically.
Hmm.
So there is not much scope to collaborate, but other spaces like academic writing,
Hmm.
then academic research and all those areas, those are already open for the collaborative work, and I am
Hmm.
working on them. I have published a textbook on tourism sphere where I have collaborated with a couple of people. So
Hmm.
I've already done it.
Okay. You have given a major span of your work life to academia.
Right.
So, what are the key skills or mindsets that you believe are still underemphasized in this modern education system? And maybe we can talk in particular about the marketing and business management.
All right. So, see, this is one factor which I always felt in India, which is lacking,
Hmm.
that we had never been inspired to go for designing things, whatever we feel like. जैसे बचपन से हम लोगों को एक सेट ऑफ सिलेबस दिया गया, उसी को मार्क करते गया और एग्जाम्स पास करते गया. इवन इफ यू सी द India's toughest exam,
Hmm.
that is UPSC, over there also a person has to really by heart so many things.
Hmm.
बट वहाँ पे अपना इनोवेशन लाने का कोई स्पेस है नहीं ज्यादा.
नहीं. Hmm.
तो इनोवेशन कम्स आउट ऑफ डिजाइनिंग. नाउ मैं देखा बाहर यूरोप में या यूएस में स्कूल्स में बच्चे को
Hmm.
5 साल तक पढ़ाता ही नहीं है, और यहाँ पे इंडिया में बच्चे का 5 साल का एक बच्चे का
Hmm.
जो स्टडी बैग का जो किताब का वजन होता है वो उससे
Hmm.
बॉडी का ज्यादा वजन होता है.
जी.
Actually, the brain has to also start thinking independently,
Hmm.
and it should have the capability to design something by itself through creativity, inspired by some creativity or whatever.
Hmm.
Now, creativity का आज का दिन में तो ज़्यादा space है नहीं, even for
Hmm.
the science students. इसी का कारण मोस्ट प्रोबेबली इंडिया में जो गैप आ रहा है कि वी हैव गुड स्टार्टअप्स,
Hmm.
जैसे स्विगी है और मेनी अदर स्टार्टअप्स आर देयर, बट एट द सेम टाइम इट्स नॉट एट द लेवल ऑफ द Israeli startups, or maybe at the level of Chinese startups, or maybe at the level of American startups. Right. Once upon a time, Microsoft, Google, all these companies were startups. So they
Hmm.
are ruling right now the world. So we do not have that kind of businesses, and I felt that see, these American startups are run by Indian CEOs. So somehow or other, Indians had been always been imaginative,
Hmm.
and they are doing it with their own creativity. But ultimately, at the end of the day, everything is creative and everything is designed. So इंडिया में ज़्यादा इसका जोर देना है, एंड most probably even in management side, design thinking should be talked about,
Hmm.
and designing prototypes, designing branding, awareness campaign, or maybe designing own logo. These kind of things are needed to be brought in more into the curriculum side.
Hmm.
I think these are the things are more realistic at this point of time, and more practical, and which we need to teach to the students, which are not existing into the education system, which follow the university model, because university, they bring the changes into their syllabus every 5-10 years.
Hmm.
So by that time, the entire process changes, and business schools who are focused on this, they have their, like IIMs, Indian Institute of Management, and many other business schools,
Hmm.
Indian top business schools, even in private. They have that kind of autonomy to design their syllabus as per their own wish, and they
Hmm.
are bringing this kind of innovations. So I see a lot of potential in that space. And India is especially a country which is not self-paced or self-driven country.
Hmm.
Like India, the
This thing,
the
yes.
teaching, yeah, teaching paradigm,
Hmm.
because here the teaching comes because of the beating of the parents.
Hmm. True, true
बाप
that.
माँ के लिए बचपन में हम लोग पढ़ाई करते थे, खुद के
हाँ.
लिए कभी पढ़ा ही नहीं। बट यूएस, अमेरिका, ये सब जगह, यूएस में या यूके में बेसिकली लोग पढ़ते हैं, हायर एजुकेशन लेते हैं वो खुद के लिए, उनका पैशन है वो करने के लिए।
That is where there is innovation. जब आपने स्विगी का एग्जाम्पल दिया, the business that we are running here in India, वो आइडियाज हो चुके हैं, लाइक दे आर ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड ऑलरेडी. यहाँ पर वो
हम्म।
बहुत लेट आए हैं. वो कहीं और
हम्म।
इनोवेशन उनका कहीं और हुआ है. यहाँ तो बस ये है कि दे आर वर्कड अपॉन.
करेक्ट।
देयर इज नो न्यूनेस. नया अपना खुद का कुछ नहीं है.
ऐसा इंडिया था नहीं एक्चुअली।
हाँ.
अगर बहुत गौर से देखा जाए,
हम्म.
तो इंडिया हैड नेवर बीन लाइक दिस,
हम्म.
एंड ये यहाँ पे, यहाँ का जो यूनिवर्सिटीज थे, नालंदा, तक्षशिला एंड ऑल,
हम्म.
they were the place for the innovation and new thinking, and
True.
people all around the world, they used to come to India to
हम्म.
learn all those.
हम्म.
And the Indian philosophy is the only philosophy which connects body, mind, and soul. No
जी.
other philosophy actually connects the body, mind,
Connects this.
soul.
हम्म.
So these three things are not connected with any other philosophies.
हम्म.
So it was so rich, and innovation का जब बात करें तो all majorly the developed world, so-called developed world, आज का दिन का, वो लोग जब पेबल से खेल रहे थे, उस टाइम में हमारा यहाँ पे सर्जरी आविष्कार हो गया था। लोग बोल दिए थे कि यहाँ से मून का डिस्टेंस और यहाँ से सन का डिस्टेंस, हनुमान चालीसा में इट इज गिवन ऑलरेडी द एग्जैक्ट डिस्टेंस, और मे बी वर्ल्ड, दिस अर्थ इज गोल, और ये सन का चारों ओर घूमता रहता है, नौ ग्रह है, तो
हम्म.
ज्योतिष में जिसका ये है, सो जिक्र है। सो ये सारे जो इनोवेटिव आइडियाज था, ये सारे इंडिया में ही था एक टाइम, बट
यही
हम
का
लोग
था.
भूल गए हमारा पास्ट को, और हम लोग कॉपी एंड पेस्ट का तरफ चला गया।
हाँ.
उसी में इनोवेशन हमारा रुक गया। बट ये कहा जाता है, जब चाइना भी ग्रो हुआ था,
हम्म.
उस टाइम में ये कहा गया था कि व्हेन यू कैन नॉट इनोवेट, यू कैन कॉपी।
हम्म.
क्योंकि कॉपी करते करते ही इनोवेशन आता है, और
जी.
आते आते ही फिर वो इनोवेटिव साइड में चला जाता है।
हम्म.
बट government of India right now is harnessing those innovative ideas. There are so many competitions are happening, business plan competition, then startup competition, and many other
Hmm.
things are happening which are basically promoting. But point is, when you go towards, deeper, there are two sides of it. One is, exogenous, and another is endogenous. When
Hmm.
you become endogenous, then you go for creativity and innovation. So then you don't actually look for marketing, and that is what is happening, who has happened with the ancient India.
Hmm.
They were not doing their marketing and they were endogenous. They were so much मगन अपना वो चिंतन का तरफ कि
जी.
वो लोग कभी मार्केटिंग ही किया नहीं.
Hmm.
और आज का दिन में ये जो वर्ल्ड है, यहाँ पे चिंतन और जो विपणन, ये दोनों चीज एक साथ हैंड इन हैंड है.
Hmm.
वो जो दिखता नहीं वो बिकता नहीं है, और जो बिकता नहीं है उसका वैल्यू नहीं है.
वैल्यू नहीं है जी.
तो ये एक दुनिया है, और यहाँ पे चिंतन भी जरूरी है, विपणन भी जरूरी है, मार्केटिंग भी जरूरी है.
Hmm.
बट दोनों का एक बैलेंस होना है, कोई भी
बैलेंस
एक
होना.
चीज बहुत ज्यादा नहीं होना.
Hmm. Hmm.
The new
Hmm.
generation will go for this. They will also be innovative, as well as they will also do their marketing well. But I personally feel that if you have a really compelling solution which is innovative,
Hmm.
you really don't have to do marketing. People will get dragged out of that, and that is what is called as marketing. That
Hmm.
is the basic definition of marketing. When sales is becomes superfluous,
Hmm.
then that is actually the marketing.
Marketing.
So sales, mane exogenous,
Hmm.
it's a push and pull. Like in marketing, we call it as a push and pull.
Hmm.
So push is all about sales, and pull
Hmm.
is all about pulling the people towards you, is basically marketing.
जी.
So I think जब वैल्यू दिखेगा लोगों को
Hmm.
कि we have a lot of value, we have a lot of knowledge, we have a lot of innovations,
Hmm.
then automatically people will get dragged towards it.
Hmm.
इंडिया, एंशंट इंडिया को बेचना जरूरी नहीं पड़ा. लोग आते थे. इवन जीसस क्राइस्ट केम इन इंडिया.
True that.
you
So
know
true.
so all this basically brought them here, because that is the time when it was the golden era and knowledge का ये पीठस्थान था.
Hmm.
बट धीरे धीरे हम लोग अभी, इफ यू लुक एट इन इंडियन colleges or universities,
Hmm.
how many international people really comes for the value to India from the
Yes.
developed nation? Even in the top universities, very few.
Hmm.
But you see in the other side, Indian students, how many students they go abroad for the higher studies? Very high numbers. Even my daughter is studying in UK in marketing. She is doing masters over
Hmm.
there. She completed her masters basically. So वहाँ पे वो मास्टर्स लेवल पे जो थीसिस लिखी बेसिकली, सो
Hmm.
दैट हम लोग उतना डीप में हम लोग एनालाइज नहीं करते इवन इन पीएचडी लेवल. कमिंग बैक टू इंडिया, इंडिया से अभी बाहर जा रहे हैं लोग ज्ञान के लिए या नॉलेज के लिए.
Hmm.
इंडिया में जो रिवर्स था एक्चुअली एक टाइम, वंस अपॉन अ टाइम, पीपल यूज्ड टू कम हियर. सो इंफॉर्मेशन, इन्फोटेक, जो भी आप बोलोगे, दोज आर ऑल मीडियम्स, टीचिंग मीडियम्स.
जी.
बट इफ यू रियली हैव द वैल्यू, then it will go ahead.
So yes, that was very, very, very fair conversation. Very fair conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So this was a very diverse understanding. Even professionally, your journey has been super diverse, from engineering to writing mythology inspired thrillers, management, and entrepreneurship. What is the fair say when it comes to your career in sales, academia, and travel, shaping your approach to storytelling?
This is a very good question altogether. There is a saying by Bernard Shaw that traveling a mile is equivalent to reading 10 books. So the more you travel, the more you gain experience. You gain the opportunity to talk with several people. And you see that storytelling is basically a part and parcel of our Indian culture. Because I had been born and brought out by my grandparents. So grandparents, they always tell the stories and all. So that's how I got attached with mythology.
Okay.
And even when I saw different cultures in diversified country,
Hmm.
so they are also enriched with their storytelling of their grandparents. And storytelling is a very big thing right now, because if you can tell the story of your brand or your product in a compelling manner, so that actually pulls the people towards that particular product or services. So
Hmm.
I see a lot of effect on that, how the product has been created, there is a story. How the services have been delivered, there is a story.
There's a
So
story.
Indian entrepreneurs, they need to learn the storytelling in an effective manner, which
Hmm.
actually pulls the people, international people or maybe national people. The traveling actually made me enriched a lot, because nowhere I have seen the people are out of challenges,
Hmm.
but still they live happy. They try to live within that particular moment.
Hmm.
So it's a great philosophy even in India, that we have to live within our moment, because आज का ये क्षण जो है ये कल कल हो जाएगा, और परसों वो बहुत अतीत हो जाएगा. सो आज का दिन
Okay.
में जीना है और इसी क्षण को एंजॉय करना है, और यही इसी को बेसिकली भगवान का देन मान के आगे चलना है.
Hmm.
ये फिलोसॉफिकली ड्रिवन है. तो मेरा जो जर्नी है लाइफ का, वो भी मेरे को ज़्यादा फिलोसॉफिकल बनाया, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस जर्नी, द चैलेंजेस, द आई हैव नेवर स्टेड इन विद इन वन पर्टिकुलर फील्ड. आई हैव ट्रेवल्ड अक्रॉस डिफरेंट डोमेन्स.
Hmm.
एंड मैं देखा कि लाइफ भी ऐसा ही डिफरेंट चैलेंजेस लेके आया, उसको सॉल्व करे.
Hmm.
सो हम लोग बेसिकली उसमें अगर एंजॉय कर सकते हैं तो दैट इज अ ग्रेट वे. एंड yesterday also I just met with my boss who retired. He is aging around 75. So
Acha.
we were discussing, and I saw that age has not touched him at all, because the reason being, he also believes into this particular philosophy that you live on today
Hmm.
and don't look into kal. Kal means it can be future or it can
Hmm.
be past,
Hmm.
but today, at this point, this particular moment, whatever you have it. Because काल किसी ने देखा नहीं, और काल is basically yesterday is a both future and past is the
Hmm.
manifestation of the mind. It doesn't exist. What
Hmm.
you have present only.
Um, More than anything, it's experiences that make up a living, and you are a man of experiences.
Well, you can say that. I had been actually very been fortunate by God that I had been given this particular exposure of life and this journey, and I have taken things in a very positive manner, positive mind. And it had never been like Vini Vidhi Visi that I
Hmm.
came, I saw, I won. It never happens in life. So it never happened for me also. So
Hmm.
I have also struggled. I am also struggling. But at the same time, I see that everything actually is giving us, at the end of the day, invaluable present to our memory,
Hmm.
invaluable present to our experience, which will add up. So हम लोग यही लेके आगे चलेंगे. हमारा
जी,
ये जर्नी खत्म होगा, आगे का जर्नी में यही सब ऐड होगा.
बिल्कुल true.
थैंक यू.
We'll be back with another value-filled conversation with Dr. Dibyendu Choudhury super shortly. Stay tuned.